What a good time to be a fan of MMA and especially the UFC,
It's
man.
just like a hand just came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
And I think it just caught my eye
Right.
for a second and it looked bad. But
I want to have something where somebody's eating their lunch, they could throw this podcast on and basically hang out with us.
And shout out to the Under the Chin podcast with my man Joe.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 7 of the Under the Chin podcast. This is a special episode because, well, for multiple reasons, but this is officially the longest running podcast I've ever been a part of. Me and Tanner's podcast ran for a grand total of 6 episodes, so this is a pretty special number. Now, hopefully, we just see it grow and grow and grow. But 7, lucky number. Yeah, speaking of lucky numbers, 311 is a pretty lucky number. And you guys were lucky enough to go and check it out. Let's start there. How was the spectacle? What was the show like? It was more spherical. It was more sphere-esque in terms of the presentation showed through on the TV. What was it like being there?
uh dude, it was dope, man. I'll tell you what, I went to the UFC fight in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena.
Hmm.
That was the um Polish Power, Blachowicz and Ankalaev. And I was like, after that, I honestly was like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Like, I'd rather just watch it from home. And after this one, I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool, man. Obviously got to experience that with Hector and his little brother, which is dope. And yeah, man, it was super cool. The what is it called? The Intuit Dome has the like this LED board that just goes all the way around. It's like the one in Vegas at the uh, what's that place called?
Oh, the black
Stadium.
hole.
Yeah,
Uh,
Spear?
yeah,
Allegiant.
no, the Allegiant Stadium. It's just like that, dude. And it's a different experience, man. They had like it was like you said, it was Fear-esque. They had kind of like similar intro videos and stuff on the video boards for the fighters, which is pretty cool. But overall, a great card, man. Top to bottom, pretty stacked. Obviously, we wanted to see
Yeah.
Armin, but it didn't happen. And yeah, but cool experience, 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend.
How about you, Hector? What'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. Uh, I remember I went to the most recent. I went to Bellator. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace.
Bellator card, and it was cool. But I remember thinking like, oh, it's way better at home because you get the commentary, you know.
Hmm.
And same thing. My brother said the same thing. I asked him for 311 after that happened. I asked him, hey, what do you think? He's like, I don't know, but I think I enjoy it more at home because I get to hear the commentary. Because I like we get invested in like what they say
Hmm.
because we train sometimes. So we're able to take away like some tips or whatever, right? From especially from DC
Yeah.
or or Dominic. But I liked it. I liked it. That from that from not listening to the commentary. I love that the environment, like everybody like I didn't drink, but like everybody was fucking lit.
Mhm.
Everybody was screaming like it's funny. Like they be screaming a lot of like nonsense that it's funny, you know. I liked it.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts about attending the events live, I've been to two of them so far, both at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. What I loved was the reaction from the crowd. That is what the trade-off is. You know, when you don't have the commentary, you don't have as good of a view of what's actually happening. But next time I'm bringing binoculars. I decided that. I've done that for a baseball game before, and I'm just gonna bring some binoculars to see if I could peer in there a little bit better. But having the entire stadium react to a knockout or a finish or just a great fight in general,
Yes.
it's so awesome. It's there's so much energy in it. It's unlike anything in sports.
Dude, the
Um,
craziest thing is that when I went to the one in Vegas, I was pretty much up there as well. First row, second deck. And but the way the it's made is it almost seems like you're on top of the action because all the seats are more like
Mm,
on a slant. So I was like, man, I should have took binoculars. But I mean, honestly, the view wasn't that bad.
mm.
It was pretty cool. Again, no commentary, which is kind of hard to get used to due to the fact that we're always listening to the commentary. But like you said, the crowd was electric, and it's just a different environment, man. LA,
Mm.
dude, there's something
Yeah,
special about it, and nothing can
yeah,
replicate it, not even Vegas.
Well,
yeah. It was
I've famously only ever had two beers in LA and left. So going to an event at the Intuit Dome would be a step up from that. So hopefully next time they have something out there, I'll get to make it out. I saw they had interactive things on the armrests of the chairs, like trivia games with the buttons. Who did
yeah,
better in trivia? Did you guys participate?
Hector did.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I missed one,
Do you
the
remember which
last
one you
one,
missed?
right?
Uh, yeah,
I
he
don't
missed the last
remember.
one. Yeah, it was. I think the question
Oh
was
yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember.
who has the most minutes
Yeah,
octagon
Mhm.
inside
time.
the octagon, and I thought it was Jim Miller, but it's RDA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
guess Jim Miller is the one with the most fights in the
He has,
UFC. I
he has
guess.
the most fights, not the most
mhm.
minutes,
Yeah,
but
but not time wise.
And
Yeah,
I thought the
most,
same.
he has most wins too, right? Jim Miller?
yeah,
Twice most
something like
wins,
that.
Maybe.
I
I
think it's
think.
between him and who?
Cowboy?
Lord, Cowboy. Yeah,
Yeah, because
Cerrone.
if I'm not mistaken, I saw Cowboy and Jim Miller fight in Vegas, and I'm pretty sure that fight was for like the wins
right,
record. So yeah, I
right.
think yeah, and Jim Miller
And
did
Jim,
win that fight. Yeah,
yeah, he came on top. He did a guillotine
yeah, yeah, he did
on
get a
Cowboy.
finish.
Yeah,
So
yeah. What do you guys think? He's coming back.
oh, Cowboy, yeah, he wants two more.
Yeah.
Make it an even 50.
Yeah.
What
Coming up, roided up.
what about I mean you yeah, yeah, he didn't hide the fact that he was taking
Oh no, he did it
TRT.
openly.
Super
Yeah.
open about it,
TRT,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
in
know
order
what it was.
I mean, in order to get back to the UFC, you got to get tested by Para now, right?
I think isn't it called drug-free sport?
Whatever. USADA.
Well, USADA's gone.
Yeah.
The we all know it as a USADA, the testing agency.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I was telling Abe that a good fight will be Cowboy versus Tony because Tony has a win over Cowboy, and then Cowboy is trying to come back. I don't know if that plays a role like confidence wise, like Tony like thinking like, oh, I already beat his ass, so I'm gonna beat his ass again, and Cowboy like, oh, he's gonna eight fights kid, so I might take advantage of that. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah, it works out for both guys. Yeah, I like that idea. But speaking of fights that I want to see next, we'll segue into this. We had four fighters. Let's just get this out of the way early because we are in some trouble. Four fighters entered the Octagon undefeated on Saturday, and all four of them took a loss. The first of which, Rinyat Nakamura, the Japanese wrestler,
Yeah,
he was 9-0, I believe, now 9-1. But then, oh, okay, let's rip this band-aid off now. Peyton Talbot took his first career loss, and it was not a very flattering performance for one of the most highly touted guys on the roster going into that fight. What did you guys think of that while you were there? What was the audience reaction like? Yeah, what was that? What
Not
was that
good.
like? Yeah,
Not good, man. Not good. We the guy coming out that he fought, forgot his name.
Tony Barcelos.
Barcelos came out. We were like, man, this guy looks old. Turns out he was like 38. or 37.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, head full of gray hairs.
yeah. Um, so I remember last week on the episode, I said, throw some money on the underdog. Though Peyton might not lose, still that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So I was
Mhm.
just kicking myself about that the entire time. But Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I mean, O'Malley and Peyton are just they're the same on the ground. So uh, I know you were talking about that matchup last week. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be a strike fest, but it's just that was disappointing to be short. We all thought Peyton was the next big thing, and this guy, just 37-year-old,
Yeah.
came in and derailed the train. He just couldn't get up, dude. He's got his ground game is zero. It's like he just laid there
Yeah.
and he clinched and he was happy to be down on the ground. But he
Yeah,
wasn't.
he was playing the offensive jiu-jitsu, and you know that that doesn't work. I mean,
Hmm.
it worked with really high level guys, but I mean, I like guys who get on the
Try to get
floor
up.
and trying to get up like as soon as they hit the mat, they try to get up like we saw Christian Rodriguez last fight card. Like
Hmm.
I like those type of fighters. Like Bisping always says. I like Bisping because he always says the same thing. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. Don't play the jiu-jitsu card. Just get up. And I agree.
Yeah, yeah, it was a hard watch. Peyton Talbot quickly became one of my favorite fighters on the roster, mainly
Yeah.
just by the way that the way that he fought, the way that he carried himself. He was just an interesting character. Somebody who I think is good for the sport. Somebody who I think still has a bright future. If you're gonna take a loss, if you're undefeated and you're gonna take a loss, it's better it goes the distance. One, you get more experience. Two, you're not getting finished, so you don't have a embarrassing anti highlight
He
on
should have just got finished. That would have been less embarrassing than just 15 minutes on the ground.
right, yeah, it was just it was a poor performance overall. I
Yeah.
don't think Peyton would disagree with that himself.
It was so bad.
He
All
he
this, I
got a
blame this.
pretty
Yeah,
decent
go ahead.
he got a pretty decent takedown though. Remember? Remember? He did like I think it was third round, if I'm not mistaken. He
Yeah,
did take Raoni down.
yeah. And then me and Hector were like, why would he take him down? He needs a finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, he can take people down, good. But I
Lord.
credit this all to Frank Ocean because he was hanging out with him
Who's
beforehand.
that guy?
Frank
I'm
Ocean,
sorry,
he's an R&B singer.
I'm too Mexican.
Yeah,
He was like affiliated with Odd Future early on, like when they were first like blowing up.
yeah, not my cup. I never really was an Odd Future or whoever that. I No, not a fan, and not a fan. Just whack, bro.
Well, I speaking of not being a fan, I am still a fan of Peyton Talbot. This performance, I mean, I don't want to say it didn't change anything, because it did. I mean, it showed that there's some holes in his game that he's gotta work out. But I still think that he like the personality that he has is good for the sport. I think more people should not emulate it, like be yourself, but just the way that he is, the way that he approaches things, and just his whole aesthetic, his whole vibe. I think he's still going to make a lot of money. I think he's going to have a good career. And but you gotta roll with the punches. This is a learning lesson. Now
Yeah, I think it's pretty good to go through something like this.
mm,
We've seen uh Izzy go through it at light heavyweight.
mhm.
We've seen Ngannou go through it at heavyweight, where I forgot who he fought. He had he still
Stipe.
He fought Stipe, and Stipe just literally laid on him on the ground. This is
Mm,
back when he had uh braids in his hair.
yeah,
He was the predator.
Yeah.
But yeah, he learned from that. You get better. Peyton will get better. But at the end of the day, he's gonna get better, and he's just gonna be in like the purgatory in the bantamweight division because there's no way he beats Marab. No way he beats or
I
wait,
mean
Umar.
timing is key.
If he's gonna
He's
wait for them
young.
to get old,
Yeah, and I don't think Marav is gonna be champion by the time. I mean, Marav is already 30, what,
36.
36?
Yeah, 36.
Yeah, I give him two or three more years until
Yeah.
Yeah,
he retired. I
realistically,
mean,
if Peyton's sniffing around a belt in a few years, it will likely have a different champion at that point. Who it'll
right.
be, I don't know. Maybe Corey Sandhagen, who knows? But
Umar.
well, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get to that one. But before we do, we had two other
undefeated.
undefeated fighters lose their zeros. I'm trying to track down. Oh yes, first fight of the night. Clayton Carpenter, a guy that I highlighted, said that he was a value pick, and I was wrong
Yeah,
because he lost pretty definitively.
KO,
Um,
baby.
no, he took it. He took it out. He wrote it out.
Did he?
That was a
Who was the one that got
decision.
KO'd? Green
Um,
or whatever his name is?
who we at here?
He got
Oh,
KO'd. He
oh,
was on the ground.
Zachary Reese got KO'd in the first
Reese, there
round.
you go.
Yeah. He
yeah.
was not undefeated though. Am I losing my
That was your
mind?
pick, though.
Uh, he was not
Oh,
undefeated.
right. Yeah, yeah. Who? Oh, yes, Umar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, right. Was there a fight that not on the main card, one of the early prelims or prelims that stood out to you as your favorite?
Not to me. Not on top of my head.
Yeah, not off the top of my head either. I'm trying to
Nah,
think
not,
back.
not none of the fights just surprised me. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the only thing that surprised me was how bad Peyton is like on the floor. But
Wait, I got one.
Okay.
Eileen
Ah, yes.
came in and dominated and beat Rosa like we all knew she would.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah.
So Abe, you had you shared a moment with Eileen Perez after the fight.
Show him, show the
Oh,
people.
Jesus
So
Christ.
so what were you looking at when this picture was taken? And
Yeah,
how
so
was it? What it
it's
looked
not what
like?
it looks it's not what it looks like is what so
Nah,
we're walking by and Hector's like, "Oh, that's Eileen." I'm like, "What?" I look up and then I think I seen like a hand come in between her and the guy she was standing next to, and I think that's what caught my eye. Like,
A hand.
yeah, it was literally just a hand because it was so they're all wearing like all black jumpsuits and whatever. It's just like a hand just came out of nowhere,
Hmm.
and I think it just caught my
right.
eye for a second, and it looked bad, but
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
they're
somebody in
roasting
the
you
comments
online.
noticed.
yeah, I know. Oh yeah, yeah, it's
You're famous now.
yeah, famous for the wrong thing, huh? Shit.
What about Tracy?
I didn't see Tracy.
Yeah, they're
You did.
beefing now. You hear that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
She
didn't
was on
watch the
Eileen,
video. I just saw a
Eileen called her.
post.
Eileen called her dirty. That
Yeah.
Tracy's dirty.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Why?
don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah, I don't know what
imagine.
either, but yeah, they're into it, so that would be a battle now, wouldn't it? So yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Well, all right. Let's move into the main card. We had Renier de Ridder versus Kevin Holland. Renier de Ridder RDR getting the sub at 3 minutes and 31 seconds of the very first round. Hector, you met up with RDR before the fight. What was that like?
Yeah,
Did you chop it up with him? And before you answer that, we could talk about how big this guy is. He weighed
man.
more than Yuri Prohaska in the octagon. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the
Yeah,
California State Athletic Commission posted the fight night weights of everybody, and he weighed in at like 213 or something, and Yuri was like 208. Mind you, that Renier de Ridder fought a middleweight bout, whereas Yuri was fighting in a light heavyweight bout. Um,
right.
but Hector, you met up with him. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean the last app I said I don't see this guy losing. He's just humongous, bro. He's huge. And yeah, that came to show that he's a giant for the division.
easy work.
Yeah, and he's a really cool lad, to be honest. I asked for a picture. He said, "Yeah, man. right away. Uh, and I saw him a couple times at the breakfast, having breakfast, and I said hi. We did a bump fist, and yeah, cool guy. I liked him.
He seems like a
Yeah,
cool guy. He's a guy I'm glad is on the roster now. He seems like not only a great
yes,
fighter, but yeah, cool cool dude overall.
right,
Did
and good record because he
yeah.
just he lost twice to the same guy, but I think he was in heavyweight because he was the middleweight and the light heavyweight champion and the other organization he used to be, and he went for a for a third belt, and that's when he lost to
So
the same guy twice.
I'm looking at that right now. Yeah, some Anatoly Malakin, probably not
Yeah,
pronouncing that right. That guy was, oh, they were both undefeated at the time when they fought in 2022. And then I see in the second fight, it says it ended by retirement 1 minute and 16 seconds into the third round.
what
Did
the hell is
Yeah.
that?
He said, "I'm done. I'm done getting hit. I'm retiring now." Cut the gloves off, dropped it. It was walk. He
yeah,
walked right out.
did he
What
just
the fuck does
throw
that
in the
mean?
towel? I'm gonna have to
We
look into that.
well, we've seen.
Yeah,
So there was a video going around. I'm sure you. I think I
Yeah.
sent this to you. He was on the stool and he was like, "I'm done. I'm done.
Yep.
Call a fight. Call a fight. Call a fight." Maybe that. I don't know, dude.
what?
Yeah, I just I remember that video. You know who was the fighter that made that guy do that?
Who?
Austin Hubbard.
Really?
Austin Thud Hubbard made
There
that
you
guy
go.
quit on the stool. I remember Dana had something to say about that afterwards, and it really resonated. Because I think he's just doing the guy a favor, trying to get ahead of all the trolls who are going to troll somebody for quitting on the stool between rounds. But it's that kind of sport. Yeah, and what Dana White said was, this is not for everybody, and he decided that this is not for him. And the even making it into an MMA cage at any level, it could be regional. You're not getting paid anything to do it. I mean, that takes a lot. So if you decide it's not for you, it's not for you.
Do you want to be a
Yeah,
fighter?
I remember that video, that clip. He was saying, "Oh, I don't have it no more," and the coach was trying to convince him,
Hmm.
you got it, come on." And he didn't have it.
Yeah, he's like, you got that
I
dog in
mean,
you.
yeah, yeah, it should be so stressful and hard, man. Like we can see like these weekend. I mean, I don't think I mean there's always a little injuries with fighters when they're about to fight. We saw that with Marab, and I don't know how bad it was Arman's, but I think it was a lot. It had a lot to do with the mental stuff.
I think Armin said his back hurted, but I just think he was going to miss weight.
Ah, okay, yeah,
It was kind of like
That
it
one
was
too.
pretty. It's almost like the post-fight press conference when Dana was talking about it. You can tell that he knew something
Yeah,
yeah,
that we didn't know, and he
yep,
was
yeah,
like, and there's a reason he's like, because if he was legitimately injured, he'd been like, all right, well, once he gets back to health, we'll see what we do with him. But he was like, no, he's not getting the
right,
next shot.
yeah.
And he was like, you can ask him. You can ask him. He said they sent the doctors to his room to talk to him. And then the guy asked him the question. He said, do you think he could have fought? And he said, ask him that.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
yeah,
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, and he even said, I'm against fighters fighting hurt, but you need to ask him
yeah, you see.
what happened." Yeah,
So I think he just couldn't make weight, dude.
Mm.
yeah,
Which sucks, but I mean, it is what it is.
yeah.
Uh
I mean, I saw the guy a couple of days before the weigh-ins. It was, it was, I don't know if Tuesday. I don't know what day, but he went to the Clippers game, and after that, he was in the bar
he
chilling
was?
with his boys.
He must have been
Yeah,
already.
he had a girl with him. I'm guessing that's his wife. But yeah, I saw him there, like, and it was already late. I'm like, man, aren't you supposed to be sleeping now? Like, you have a fight in
Yeah.
a couple of days. Yeah, but I don't know if it was him because it was too. I'm guessing his brother. He looks exactly the same as him.
Oh, we seen him. I seen him in the elevator.
Yeah, they're
I
like twins.
Yeah, dude, straight up like twins. It was pretty wild to see. Um, but you would have thought Armin would just take his flight back home after he wasn't fighting, but I think he just stayed at the
Yeah,
hotel because we seen his brother
Mm.
Saturday night.
yeah, you did,
Yeah.
man. Also, I mean, irrelevant, but the guy that I saw that I didn't know he had a twin brother. It was Anik,
Oh
John Anik.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were in the sauna at the same time, and I'm like, what the heck? Like this guy has hair, but then I saw Anik. I'm like, and they talk the same,
Yep,
exactly the same, bro.
yep.
So I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know.
Yeah, just one has hair and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, they both
So
have hair, but
But
I'm guessing John just cuts his hair off.
yeah,
Like he
you
doesn't.
spend time with him in the sauna.
Yeah.
so other than Renier de Ritter and Eileen Perez's backside, did you guys run into any other fighters while you were
Yeah,
there?
everybody, man. We saw
Literally everybody.
everybody.
Yeah, dude,
Who
everybody.
who do we get pictures with? Who do we talk to?
You can show them. I'll send them to you and show the fans.
Yeah.
And I mean, we took one together with Cub Swanson, me
Hmm.
and Abe, and I uh, who else was there? Angela Hill. It
Angela
was
Hill, Jamal Hill, which no relation by the way between them, right?
Hmm. Not that I know.
Um, so then I seen
who else? Cape,
yeah, Manel
Cape.
was there, and
Yeah,
Ode was there.
yeah. Pantera, Jair
I didn't
Rodriguez.
He was there?
He was there. Yeah,
I didn't
my
see him.
brother took a picture with them.
Oh man. Oh, we seen
I actually got to
Diego
talk to
Lopez,
him.
yeah. Oh
Oh, you
yeah,
saw
yeah, you
Diego
told me.
Lopez.
Yeah, not a cool
Diego
guy. I'll tell you that right
Lopez.
now.
Wait, what is that?
You heard that. Not a cool guy.
Not a cool guy.
Oh, yep, yep. Yeah, no,
I
no.
didn't see him,
No.
so
Yeah,
I cannot
me and
say.
Hector's brother walked up to him and we asked for a picture. He was sitting at the bar just sitting there doing
Uh,
nothing. And
Yeah.
we walk up to him and he's got a security guard like right in front of him and he's like, "No, no, no." And Diego's just looking at us smiling. Like, dude, trust me, man. If he was cool, he would have been like, "Yeah, man, no problem. Don't worry about it. Let him through." But he was like he just smiled and like waved.
Yeah.
well, that's certainly something. Well, you know what you just reminded me. You guys and well, I guess anybody watching this right now would have already seen it, but you guys got a video with Pantoja, champion of the world. What was he like?
The coolest out of them all.
Hmm.
Coolest. Like I was asking him questions and he was responding and like having a conversation with us. Really cool guy, man.
Yeah,
Really, really cool guy. I told him, hey, can you do a video for a podcast that we're doing? And he's like, oh, I gotta go get to the fight. I think he thought that I wanted him to come
yeah.
like
Oh,
to the room to do the podcast, like at that time.
yeah.
I'm like, no, 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 not right now. Like, can you send a shout out? He's like, oh,
Yeah,
but my English so bad. I'm like, well, mine is too, but
yeah,
just and and yeah, he did it. He like I'm like, it's not gonna take long, probably like 20, 30 seconds. He's like, yeah, let's do it, let's do it.
I love
He's
that.
he's cool, man. I
yeah. It was
love
a
the
cool dude.
guy.
Yeah, it was a cool dude. Ran into Aljo as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Um, Aljo, Ray Longo, Cup Swanson.
yeah.
Who else did I run into?
Javier Mendez,
Oh, Javier Mendez, Hasbullah.
Ashbula, yeah.
uh,
Who else?
you ran into Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy. I ran into Charles Oliveira.
Oh, wait, I seen
Yeah,
Rob
we
too.
we were working out not together, but like right next to each other. It was me and the treadmill, and then right like two treadmills down was Bala, and
What?
then
The Laws?
yes, and then like 6 feet away in a bike, like the stationary bikes, was Charles, and then like 6 feet away, you see Jerry cutting weight, like just walking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, and I was just there by myself, and then my brother came, and that was like the first day I got there. It was yeah, it was surreal, bro. To be honest, like at the end, I was just like I used to see like the fighters, and like I didn't the first time I saw them, I was like surprised, and like to the end, I was just like, that's another person.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately
I,
that's what
I
they are.
yeah, I got used to like
Being
to
around them.
to hang out, yeah, be around them, and
Yeah.
yeah, man. Who else did we see? We
Um.
saw,
Oh,
yeah, Kate.
Sean Shelby.
Oh, that's
Or
cool.
Yeah,
no, it was no. Yeah, it was Sean Shelby because Mick Maynard I didn't see.
yeah, I saw Mick.
I feel like those guys
You
got to have
remember?
the coolest lives in the world.
Yeah,
McMahon and Sean Shelby.
yeah, I can confirm that. I
Yeah,
Like,
told the story to Abe, but I cannot say it here. I'll tell you later.
all right, all right.
Not live.
not
I get,
positively.
But uh who else, man? I saw this guy. He's a bald guy from. He fights out of All-Star in Sweden. He used to be a light heavyweight, but he's now a heavyweight. He fought
Oh, that
Derek
big dude.
Derek Lewis, and
Yeah,
he
that
beat
big
him.
dude.
He's short, but he's
He's
super.
like
Like
stout.
he's like a tank. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
lost. I'm not
And I
sure.
was talking to him. I don't remember the name, to be honest. He's Albanian. But I saw him, and I was talking to him, and he's like, I asked him like, when's the next fight? He's like, oh, probably. I don't remember what date he gave me, but I asked him light heavyweight or heavyweight. He's like, yeah, fuck that. I ain't cutting weight no more. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah, it
good.
was
For
pretty
him.
cool, man. What I
Yeah,
noticed with like seeing all these fighters and stuff is like they're not as big as obviously they look on TV.
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
You run into Pantoja and it's like very small, um, kind of like a thin guy, but he looks like ripped. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Um, Same thing with who else was it that I seen? I was like, oh, Aljo.
Yeah,
And Aljo, I was like,
right.
what is going on?
Yeah,
Um, but I seen Jamal Hill too. He's not as big as I thought he'd be. Um, Hasbulla was smaller than I thought he'd be, and Hector got to see the goat pull it down.
oh yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I didn't get to see him.
I walk
man.
right. I walk right next to him, but I couldn't ask for a picture because they were like kind of escorting him to his
Okay,
room,
yeah.
so he had security with them. I also saw Khabib with no security, just him and another guy, and we walked like right past them, and like I got in shock. I wasn't shocked. Like I'm like, what the fuck do I do? That's Khabib. Like, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably see him later. But then I'm like, well, that's Khabib. I gotta go back. And then when I went back, he was getting on the elevator. So I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I snoozed.
Well, yeah, it sounds like the whole fucking roster was just hanging out in a hotel.
Yeah,
That's fucking incredible. Um, well, you mentioned Yuri. Let's get into that one. I think that fight deserved fight of the night, and I think Marab should have
right.
got performance of the night. I think
Yeah,
those two things should have been switched. Instead, Marab and Umar got fight of the night. Yuri got performance of the night, but what a fight. I mean, that was one of those fights that had me screaming at my TV. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. Watching that live had to be incredible. The crowd reaction. I mean, everything that happened, it just seems like it was drawing a reaction. What was that fight like?
Just like you said, it was drawing a reaction. Every punch, I was like, oh, oh. It was pretty cool, man. Again, the atmosphere was electric, and it's something that I don't know what it would compare to, man. It was literally every punch that was thrown, they were like, whoa, whoa. So it's cool when everybody is like, 20,000 or whatever it was in unison, just reacting. Uh, Yuri is high level. We knew that, but he proved that. I think I said on the last pod he was going to KO him. So I stand corrected with that. But he fights Alex again. He's going to get laid out again. He's still fighting with his hands very low. Yeah, he's got good head movement, but it's
They both
proven.
do.
Yeah, but it's proven that Alex's power. All he needs is one. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of losing to Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill lost this fight against Yuri, took it much better than his last defeat. He seemed very humble in his Instagram post. It was kind of what you'd like to see in a fighter's post-loss post. And they showed a video of the two of them sharing a beer at the bar afterwards, having a good time. Oh, we have
dude,
something.
so well for one, so me and Hector were sitting at a table, literally right behind or in front of our table. Jamal was sitting right there, bro.
Yeah.
His eye, dude, closed. It was shut
Yeah.
bad. And I told
Yeah.
Hector like during the fights, I was like, dude, he had to have broken his orbital bone or something because it literally after the first round it was swelling shut,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But we were just sitting there hanging out, and somebody walked past with a hoodie and that same colored or that same style jacket that Jerry was wearing in that picture that where they're
Mm.
having a beer.
Yeah.
So I learned that today that was Yuri that walked past.
Oh,
Um, and they
Yeah.
all left at the same time too. And I heard one of the UFC guys say that they were going to go to a bar. Had we known that, we would have walked over to the bar.
Right.
right.
But
Right.
I didn't put two and two together. But yeah, dude, literally they all went, all of them.
Yeah. As soon as the bar at the hotel closed, everybody went to the this other bar, and I actually saw Jamal on his way out, and I got to just fist bump with him, and I told him, "Hey, that was a great fight, man." And he was humble. He was cool. He said, "Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that." Whatever, but yeah, I like Jamal now.
Dude, he got heavily booed, man. I'm sure you heard it on TV.
Yeah.
There you
Did
go.
did we turn the tides on Jamal for the both of you? Are we
No, you got to
on
do it
the
like this because that's his chest tattoo.
Yeah,
so
that has to be the worst tattoo ever
That is the worst
in the
tattoo in
UFC.
UFC history.
I'm gonna say it
Yeah.
like this, and I'm gonna say it with my Jamal thumbs up right here. I think this loss for Jamal, I think, did him a lot of favors in the public relations realm. One, because he put on a great fight. I mean, it takes two to tango. He did end up getting finished, but up until that point, it was a good fight. And like I said, he took it well in terms of what he was posting on Instagram afterwards. And the viral video of him sharing a beer with Yuri after the fight, I think it showed a more human side of Jamal. And I think I mean, he didn't have any excuses. You know, when you get
Yeah.
knocked out by Poatan, and it's like I'm not condoning, making excuses, but it's like you you had the opportunity to do it. You have these things where there was the stoppage, and then he clips you and whatever. It's there. When you have a fight like he had with Yuri, I mean, there is no excuses. Yuri was just a better fighter that night. So I think that we might be seeing a turning of the page for Jamal. I hope he earns some more fans and lost some haters. Because like I said, I enjoy watching the guy fight, and it would just
Yeah.
feel better if everybody liked him a little bit more. So hopefully he
It's
gets
still
two
too
thumbs
early.
up from everybody.
Still too early. A couple weeks he'll come on a podcast and say he was not there. He tweaked his arm or
Nah, I don't think he's gonna come out with excuses this time.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think he learned.
I think yeah, yeah, he
Well, I
definitely
mean, all
learned.
people booing him the entire time. I mean, that's
Yeah,
got to not
that
feel
was
good.
Yeah, that can't
that
feel
was
good.
nuts.
Like when
Yeah.
Aljo got booed in Jersey or New York or wherever they
Yeah,
fought.
yeah.
Like that
Boston.
just sucks.
Against a Russian,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I mean that like
you
like
you know people hate you when they do that.
that just sucks. I remember like feeling like it's hard to feel bad for a fucking world champion professional athlete. I mean, they got quite a bit going for them, but it's like, man, when uh when that happens, it just sucks to see.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, as Abe said, we just gotta wait and a few days, probably a week, until he heals up a little bit, and
Yeah, come back to
he'll
his
be,
senses.
yeah, come back to look. I have nothing on my face. I
Yeah,
I was winning the fight.
yeah,
Hopefully now. Hopefully he
Yeah,
owns his L, and he proceeds to keep fighting, because overall he only lost to the top dog, so
right. He is one of the
he's
best.
nothing. Yeah, he's nothing to be ashamed of. Uh, uh, Talking about the best, and talking about that division, I also got to share the elevator with Khalil,
Oh, that's dope.
and I was thinking Khalil versus Hill would be, a really, really, really good fight, and I was looking at Khalil's nose, man. It
healed.
hasn't healed completely.
Yep.
It's nuts.
That'll happen when you take some punches from Poetan.
Yeah, and then he already had like a cut on top of his nose,
Yeah.
but Watson finished the job.
Well,
Yeah, man.
just to round this one out, the fight between RDR and Kevin Holland and the Yuri and Jamal fight, we had Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak, ended with 7 seconds left in the first round with a KO. Um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of what we expect to see. It's a heavyweight fight, and a high level one at that in terms of the rankings. So yeah, anything to add about that one before we get into the real meat?
Nope.
Uh,
Yeah, it was a heavyweight fight. You always love to see them, but yeah, nothing overly surprising there. But
no.
surprising, what was surprising was the result of the co-main event, the bantamweight championship of the world, which featured the reigning, defending, undisputed Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov, the at the time undefeated uh, consensus top guy in the bantamweight division. But Marab quickly, well, I shouldn't say quickly, it did go the distance, 5 rounds. He dispelled that. He proved that he was the better guy. A lot of people, including you two guys, counting out Marab.
Yeah.
When did you guys realize that Marab was going to win the fight?
Fourth fourth round.
Yeah.
We were
I'd
talking with
say,
Dave,
yeah, fourth round, I'd
and
say.
in first and second round, we were like, no, he has no chance. He's getting clipped. He's gonna
Yep.
get KO'd right now. And uh, third round, it was Morav's, and yeah, that's when the table start. I don't
Turning,
know how to say that.
turning.
Turning, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bit it was one of those, man, where we we shouldn't have doubted Murad. And we fell into the Nurmagomedov hype.
it'll happen.
So we obviously him coming out. I remember telling Hector, I said, "Dude, Umar's gonna be a champion for the rest of his career."
Oh yeah,
And sure enough, here comes Marab, the machine. And I literally said, "He's like a machine, dude. He keeps coming forward." And then Hector's like, "Yeah, it's his fighter name or whatever." Um, but yeah, dude, it was honestly crazy to see, dude. He proved to me and to should be everybody that he is the bantamweight goat. He has beat all champions, and he's made it look pretty easy. Umar should be considered high level like a champion because look at what he's done. Nobody's wanted to fight him. Look at what he did to Sandhagen. Nobody does that to him. So
yeah,
yeah, I think Marab definitely earned everybody's respect that night. He took out Nurmagomedov, man, undefeated, 18-0,
Yep.
18-1 now. So
yeah,
props to him, dude. What a great fight. I I was already a fan of Marab, but after that, I was like, dude, they need to push this guy and go have an event in Georgia at a
Yeah,
stadium
and he's
because he
funny
was
too.
yeah
He's
funny. He's got
marketable.
a crowd. He's
Yeah.
got a fan base, dude.
Hmm.
He does. He markets himself well, doing all these videos with Nina and all these other people. He's like a comedian, dude. It's funny.
Hmm.
If we'd had Umar, it wouldn't have been like that. So it's
Right.
good for the bantamweight division. You feel for, well, I don't feel for O'Malley, but he is definitely on the outside looking in. Regardless of what he does, he will not be a champion for as long as uh, Marab and Umar are there. There's no chance he beats Marab,
Yeah.
and no chance he beats Umar. Not a chance. I mean, he's
Well,
got a
yeah.
Yeah.
puncher's chance, but as you've seen with Marab, they've got good chins, man. So if they can withstand a couple punches, they'll take them down and hold them for all 25 minutes and be crowned champion at the end of the night. So O'Malley's on the outside looking in. Hector said he looked like a bug on fight night, which he did,
I
like a
saw
fly,
him in the
like a
background.
fly.
like a fly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
the pink fly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
whatever. I've never been a fan of O'Malley
Yeah.
like that. It was just too much hype, dude. So
I mean,
Yeah,
he's good. He's good, but
he lost to Peter
he's
Yan. After that, it just
yeah,
changed my perspective
yeah,
on
yeah,
everything.
yeah. But he's not as good as he think he's, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah. He lost to Yan, and
Yeah.
that should have been that. And he just kept getting propelled, and he's the next McGregor, and it's just no. He's his own biggest fan, in my opinion. I just don't see it, man.
well, he's one of those guys that stands out. Early on when I started watching, I cannot remember who the first O'Malley fight that I saw
The
was.
guy with the green hair,
No, no, no. I watched him before that. I'd have to go. I'd have to go look. But he's one of those guys that stood out. And having watched him early on, it was cool to watch his rise. You could definitely see. There was some
Stardom.
manufacturing by the UFC. But that's what they do. That's their business. To make fighters more popular. Yeah, no, I'm curious to see because O'Malley said he's off social media right now. All of his, I guess, his management team is running his social media. I don't know how much of a difference that's gonna make.
It's not going to make a difference at all, dude. He needs to go to Dagestan and train for,
Send him 2, 3 years and
yeah.
forget.
Send him 2, 3 years and forget.
No, send them to Georgia.
Or Georgia. There you go.
I mean, they're spitting
Hey,
out some high level champions, Georgia.
yeah, you guys saw what Topuria posted? He's like obviously like taking a hit on like
Sambo.
Islam,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like that's what happened when Dagestani wrestling meets Georgian wrestling. And then he said, Islam, I'll knock you out in one round, something like that. Man, I just want to see that fight, to be
And the
honest.
crazy thing is, I believe him too.
Yeah, I
He's given
mean,
us
who
no
the
reason to not believe him.
yeah. He does what
What
he
he
says.
says. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
has talks big and backs it up.
he's the best right now, in my opinion.
Talks the
Well,
talk and walks the walk.
that's right.
Quote Cody Covington.
Habib did not have much time to sulk about the Umar
Dude,
loss.
you should have seen him on, I don't know if they were showing it on TV, but he was on this side or the side of the cage just going crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Banging
that was
on the
nuts.
whatever that is, the railing
The
or
octagon.
yeah, the octagon, banging. It seemed like he was hitting the cage, like just yelling, bro, yelling. You could tell he was like
Yeah,
so
He was
mad,
throwing a
dude.
fit.
So mad, dude. Um, but yeah, literally as soon as he went back there, had to swap the shirts, the sweater, boom, you're now Islam's coach. So
yeah,
Yeah, so it wasn't all bad. The Habib camp went 2-1 on the night. With Tagir Ulanbekov winning the first fight of the night and Islam winning the last fight of the night in pretty
dominant,
nice,
yeah.
yeah, dominant fashion. 4 minutes and 5 seconds into the first round, gets the submission victory over Renato Moicano. And the most compelling thing about this fight was the what if. What if Renato Moicano, Money Moicano, comes in and defeats the
yeah,
pound for pound number one guy on one day's notice? We all had that in the back of our mind, thinking that would be awesome. But the pragmatic or the realist, I hope I used the word pragmatic
Yep.
correctly there. The realist in all of us was like, yeah, Islam is if he did it to Charles, if he did it to Volk, in terms of finishing these guys, I don't see a compelling case why Hanato Moicano would be any different. And it wasn't. It was a quick, dominant performance, and Islam remains the number one pound for pound guy. And this is a guy. I have no Dagestani attachment here, but there's something about Islam where it's like, man, I wish he didn't get knocked out early in his UFC career. I wish he was undefeated. I just because it's one of those things where, hey, credit to the guy who knocked him out. You knocked out Islam Makhachev early in his career, but still, you knocked out who would eventually become the pound for pound number one guy. But man, I wish that didn't happen. I would love to see him 28-0 right now. That would be so cool. But
Yeah.
hey, shit happens.
That guy
But
is in a bar right now telling everybody, "Oh, I knocked that guy out."
yeah.
What if he
Yep.
comes back?
I wonder who that is. Let's see if let's go.
Adriano Martins, Brazilian.
Okay, okay.
He looks like Pantoja, but a little bigger.
Yeah, Adriano Martins. Let's see his last fight was
He
in.
he got knocked the fuck out by Cowboy.
Well, get
Head
this.
kick.
He had a fight March 30th of 2024 in some promotion I've never heard of, Kongs. Uh, I don't know, Kongs. He went 4-3 in the UFC, but man, when one of your wins is over Islam Makhachev, that is pretty crazy. One against Juan Manuel Puig, Rustam.
Juan Manuel Marquez, bro. That's a good boxer,
Dinamita Marquez.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's great. Imagine, man. That's a great fucking win. I'll make uh like a shitload of shirts and sell them online just with
Make some money.
that yeah, with that punch where I knocked out Islam Makhachev.
Well,
Oh Lord.
got any final thoughts on the first pay-per-view of 2025?
It's good. I can't wait for the rest of them. March 8th,
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Ankalaev will be shut up. I was gonna say dethroned, but he's not really up there. Um, that and then Gaethje and Hooker.
Booker, yeah.
Yeah, that is the fight that everybody wants to see. Talk about a
Violent.
fan-friendly, violent fight.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to
I'm
them.
excited for I can wait for 2025 and more news that are gonna come out soon. Because they usually get together like today, I mean Tuesday, right?
Yep,
Tuesdays, yeah.
Tuesdays.
So I think we'll hear some news probably mm, this upcoming days. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. What a good time to be a fan of MMA and
The
especially the
UFC.
UFC, man. Also, we got the fight in a few days. We have the fight with
Uzman.
Usman Nurmagomedov with the guy from Ireland. I don't remember his name,
EFL.
but yeah, that fight also intrigues me
I think his name
because
like Matt Hughes or something like that, I think.
yeah, something like that. Because this guy, he was not supposed to be the guy who just fought. He just beat
Steroids.
no, he just beat what's his name? He's from the US, but I don't remember his name, but he was not supposed to be that guy, and then he's not supposed to be this guy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Steroids.
So yeah, unfortunate. Um, so we don't have a card this upcoming weekend. Sad, but we just had to deal with 4 weeks off. One ain't too bad, but
Yeah.
holy crap. What we I mean, we have a treat to come back to. We can kind of go through the entire card on the next episode since we're gonna have some time to kill. But I mean, we'll do a little overview like this. The pay-per-view the following week, after that one, not the most compelling card that the UFC has ever put together.
I don't
The
even know who that
main,
is.
well, it's Dricus and Sean.
Uh,
So the main event, great. I mean, that's what we want to see. It's the middleweight championship of the world. But other than that, on the main card, I mean, this is a fight night, like a low key
Caliber.
fight night
Ah,
level
man,
main card.
I want to see Alexander Topuria, man.
Yeah, he's on the
That's
prelims.
what I
There are
want to
some
see.
names that pop out. Yeah, I am excited to
That's
see
what I
his
want to
debut.
see,
And
man.
he's taking on Cody Haddon, who is coming off of the Contender Series. Um, so it'll be a very interesting matchup. I mean, I should say this. Every name on the card. I mean, you have two Contender Series guys making their debuts on the early prelims, that Quinlan Salkeld and Jonathan McAuliffe. Um, so those guys, and you have the fight, the first fight of the night, an undefeated Ray Sururia. Some not sure how to pronounce that, but overall, I mean, it's not a bad card in terms of what you're getting. I mean, I'm excited for most of the fights on the card, but that's because I know these guys. I mean, if you don't watch the Contender Series, you don't give a shit about the early prelims. You don't know who they are. You're looking at the preliminary card. You got Jack Jenkins, yeah, Tom Nolan, and Vyacheslav Borshev. I mean, these are names that would excite some like relatively hardcore fans, but other than that, I mean, not something that's going to really sell it, and especially the main card. I mean, it just, I mean, it literally take the main event out, put in
the fight night at the Apex.
right. It's an Apex card, but it's being fought in Australia. But I mean,
Guys, let's not say that. Remember, because
Oh yeah, the fight night card was
the
really good.
last
Yeah,
fight night, last time we said that, it was a whatever card. It was a banger, man.
yeah,
So
that is
let's just
true.
wait. Let's just wait, bro.
Yeah, the problem doesn't lie in what the fights may be. I mean, I mean, in terms of the quality of the fights, they could be the best that we've seen all year. Not much to go off of, but it could be some really good stuff. But it's just like you expect to see more names that are going to draw in casual viewers or people who only really know the top of the top. But hey, I gotta give it to the matchmakers though. Looking at the fights on the fight night card before the week before that pay-per-view, I mean, I'm just chalking it up to I'm paying for both of these. I'm splitting the difference. We have the pay-per-view. I mean, the fight night before the pay-per-view is a much more compelling pay-per-view. I would feel much better paying for that one
Is
than
it
the
easy?
one the following week. Is it what?
Is it easy? Easy
Yeah,
versus
Izzy and Imavov. Yep.
the French guy? Yeah.
I mean, the main card itself, you have Muhammad Naimov versus that Ofli. I don't know how to say his name, but he's coming off of a crazy Contender Series knockout. You have Ikram Aliskerov, who his only two losses are to Hamzat Chimaev outside of the
Who's
UFC
fighting?
and Robert Whitaker. He's fighting Andre Muniz.
Okay, okay, Brazilian guy.
Yep, and then Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. That's a great fight.
Yeah,
Saeed.
Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. I mean, two of the best
Eh.
heavyweights on. I mean, Sergey Pavlovich is the one selling that fight for me. No, no,
yeah.
no, no,
Yeah,
nothing against Jairzinho
Biggie Boy.
Rosenstrike.
Yeah, Biggie
Uh,
Boy was big maybe a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
yeah,
Before getting knocked out by
Yeah.
Francis,
Francis, yeah, they
he
derailed
lost
his.
all his
Yeah,
aura, bro.
yeah,
yeah,
and
he did.
Sergey was pretty big and scary before getting knocked out by Tom Aspinall, but we don't have to get into that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
The
you couldn't wait to say the huh?
Any way to get Tom Aspinall on the pod is
Yeah,
any way
It's
you can throw his
happening.
name on there.
It's happening. It's happening.
guys,
Uh, th
everything is happening, man.
that's right. That's
Let's
right.
just put our minds into it.
Yeah, I think before we get into the co-main and main event of the next
Conceive,
fight night,
believe,
um,
achieve.
that's right. I
I'm
think that
sorry,
was a
man. Go
I
ahead.
think that was a
I had to
chapter
say
in
it.
Bisping's book.
Yeah, that was
Conceive,
funny
believe,
as hell.
achieve. Before we get into the co-main and main event of the next fight night, I gotta say, what we're doing right here, I think that this is what it's going to come down to. We've talked privately in the chat that we got to up the presentation because I think that's what separates it. You know, I think over the past 7 weeks, we've gotten better at talking. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to keep a conversation going
Not me,
for
man.
over an hour. In general, you know, it's but I love talking. Yeah, like you know, it's especially with you guys, and especially it's about a topic that we're all heavily invested in. But you know, once the microphones are rolling, it's not always the you know. I think you look at podcasts like Joe Rogan or other stuff where it appears it seems easier than it is.
Yeah.
And I think over time, just sharpening those conversation skills, upping the production value, if you will, or the presentation, and just what I want to cultivate is I want to have something where somebody's eating their lunch, they could throw this podcast on and basically hang out with us and talk about the card, whether it be in the comments or whether they're just paying attention, listening along, hearing our thoughts. We cover pretty much everything, you know. So it's one of those opportunities where if you wanted to see, maybe we share your opinion, maybe you totally disagree with us. If you're hearing that, man, put it in the comments. I want to hear it. I do, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, I'll comment right now.
Yeah.
All
There
right,
you
please.
go.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you know what? Hey, we did get a comment on that short that we posted. It was the first comment from somebody who has not been on the podcast.
From an
Uh,
Love it.
outsider.
yeah, the first few were from you guys, and then on the episode with Tanner, Tanner commented on that one. But we got a comment on the short,
Was
so
it your burner account?
no, it was not. It was not. It was somebody. He said he was at the basketball game, and he wanted to go to the fight card, but he ended up watching it on TV. I asked what his favorite fight was, and he said the Yuri and Jamal fight. So
Good.
yeah,
Hopefully he subscribed.
he did not.
Okay. All right.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
we're still.
Yeah. We need some love, man. We need
Yeah,
to. I don't see. I'm not
Help
really
us
good
out,
at
man.
those shorts or anything like that. So keep pushing that, I guess. Keep cutting and clipping stuff and
yeah.
start
My
posting on TikTok or something.
Right. My plan is to take this episode. Hopefully, we could find some stuff, post some videos, because that's how you drive traffic to a podcast. Not many people are going to look at an hour-long video and be like, you know what? I have
I'm
no
gonna
idea
watch
what
that.
this is,
Yeah.
but I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you have a clip that people could relate to. I mean, that's how I started watching McAfee. I mean, I exclusively watched Pat McAfee clips for the longest time, and then I'm like, why don't I watch the whole thing? I mean,
That was me with Joe Rogan.
right. Yeah. I mean it's universal. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to be sold on the podcast before you're going to really sit down and listen to the whole thing.
Now we got to clickbait people now with Pantoja.
yeah.
So
All
You're
right,
right.
guys, we have the recipe. Let's make it happen.
yeah.
We could clickbait the image like Abe gets an exclusive angle of Eileen Perez's ass. Like
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah. That was pretty bad.
man, you got cut in 4K.
Yeah, dude. I was just in the cut in the back. I was just lurking.
it was dude, when I saw that in the chat, I could not believe my eyes. I was rubbing my eyes like that cannot be him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is that it happened to him. It could happen to me. It's like nothing,
Right.
Dude, it
right?
could have happened to everybody,
But
dude.
it's so
Everybody.
yeah. I mean, but it happened to you.
But yeah, we were talking about the next card here. I mean, the co-main event, Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. Nice fight. Nice fight.
Man,
Yeah, I know we talked about this before a couple episodes ago when it got booked. And I said that I was going with MVP. I might be flip-flopping on that one. To be
yeah,
determined, as they say. Next episode. I think I'm gonna finalize that pick, but yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, two lightning strikers, one much later on into their career than the other. Uh,
yeah. One older,
yeah,
Shara
yes,
one,
Bullet.
one, one has two eyes though.
Yep.
that is true. He does have the eye advantage.
Shara Bullet. Another thing we got to do is we got to start coming up with good titles. because I think we're just
Right.
naming it what episode
Right.
8 and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
You're not going to find it in the search
Right.
bar, so you got to go just like this: who wins MVP versus Shara, or a
Right.
complete look at the next
Right.
UFC card, or something like that, where you're just anybody searching up to be like, oh, what are these guys doing? Boom, click on
Yeah.
it, we get views.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got.
I got some ideas. I'll let you guys know
Yeah,
in
please.
the
I mean,
chat.
I've been taking notes on how the hell could we make it better? You know, it's and I'm glad we have this foundation. You know, this I mean, we're filming our seventh episode. I mean, when you think about it, we have over 6 hours of podcasts on the internet. I
Gonna
mean,
be
that's
7 hours.
yeah, yeah. It'll be over 7 hours by the time this goes up. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, it's but it's one of
Yeah.
those things. It's like the hardest part about doing something like that is starting it. And because you know, there was even that time like before we recorded the first episode where we had to push it back a few times and we're like, are we ever gonna fucking do this? Or like,
Yeah.
are we like and
It
it's
just made it out of the chat.
yeah, yeah, it made it out of the chat. And to anybody, if you're watching this, to anybody who wants to do something like this, I mean, it's so worth it. I mean, you could get no views. It's just fun. You know, just and who knows where it could go. You
Just
grow,
chopping
you
it up with the
learn.
boys, man.
Right, right. I mean, like I said this before multiple times. If we just did this, no recording, no posting, if we just got together just to talk about the fucking card afterwards, I mean that would still be cool, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just even cooler that now we have a record of it. I just look forward a couple years from now, looking back, seeing what we were like, you know, seeing if our opinions change, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really cool thing. If you're thinking about doing it, do it, please. Do yourself a
Yes.
favor.
Yeah. It's like a fat person in a slide. The hard part is to start, like to go up there. Then you cannot be stopped.
Yes. I like that one. I never heard that one before. I like that.
I just invented it.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I mean that was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you, man.
Uh,
Thank you,
speaking of a
guys.
what?
No, no, no. All good. All good. All good.
Yeah, speaking of a good one, the main event in the fight night card, Israel Adesanya, the former middleweight champion, former two-time middleweight champion,
Yeah.
coming in on his first non-title fight in how many years? 6 years?
I think
Was
it's
it?
yeah. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm thinking 8, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's been that long.
I'd have to
It
look,
might
but
be 6 years.
regardless, a non-title fight, not on a pay-per-view, a very unfamiliar setting for the style bender. I'm going back and looking here. His last fight that was not for a title was 2019 against Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I was way off.
Yeah, so but yeah, so 6 years. So we're in a territory that Izzy hasn't seen for a very long time. Still
Good.
a main event.
Pressure
Uh
is off.
right, right. And you know, there have been moments where like against Poetan and against Strickus, I mean he wasn't really doubted against Strickland, but ended up losing to Strickland. But you know, where you've had these doubts about Izzy, you know, you had that Poetan storyline of this guy beat him in kickboxing twice. So you know, that's I mean, and that was Pereira's introduction in the UFC. It's like why should we care about this guy? This is why. But you know, in this fight, Nasruddin Imavov, really high level guy, one of the best in the division. Obviously, if you're fighting Israel Adesanya, you got to be. But I got Izzy in this one. I mean, I don't want to see him lose. I mean,
Hard to bet
he's
against Izzy, man.
right. I mean, he's 1-3 in his last four fights, which it's just
Against champions.
looks right, right, right. And it just doesn't look right. So I want to see Israel Adesanya. I want to see him win the belt again. I mean,
I
I've
don't know
said.
about that, but
I mean, hey, I'm not saying he will. I'm saying I want him to. You
I
know,
don't
he
want him
was
to.
well. How about you,
He
Hector? Be the
was.
tiebreaker. Do you
Yeah. I
want
mean,
Izzy to win the belt again?
he was a really very active champion. He used to fight everybody. He didn't once duck anybody. So, what what's your definition of champion, Mr. Abe?
Uh, Islam,
Yeah,
Good point.
he's there too.
a
Good
beast.
point. Did
He's
you
there
Fights
guys?
too.
anybody. You know
Yeah,
what, Izzy? I'm
I
sorry.
know where you're going with
Yeah,
this because I mean, Islam always shows up and he puts on the show, and sometimes we saw Easy like being a little too hestant,
going
like
against
the
Yoel.
Cannoneer fight. Joel, yeah, that
That
was
was
fucking
bad.
terrible, bro. That was
Yeah, but you know
terrible.
what? Yeah, I take that back because Izzy is. I would like to see Izzy again. He was a great champion. Very similar to Jesus Christ, Kobe and Usman. Okay, Usman. Very
Uzman.
similar
Yep.
to Usman. Nobody appreciated him until they weren't champions anymore. So,
Mhm.
Izzy fought anybody. Doesn't matter who. He was ready to derail the hype train. So I'm all for Izzy. And yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys saw that the Israel Adesanya documentary film Stylebender came out in 2023.
yeah. But what is it released on? I've tried to find it. I can't find it.
I think it's on Prime Video, but I think you have to rent it. What we ended
I have
up
to
doing
rent it.
was, yeah, no, I'm not into that.
some Reddit.
My my buddy ended up purchasing it on Blu-ray. He's the big Israel Adesanya fan, so it was something that he wanted to own.
Was it
Um,
good?
oh yeah, it was a great film. Like in terms of documentary filmmaking, I've seen quite a few of them, and with that, a few sports docs. It was a great, well put together film. I think they nailed it. I think what I will say is if you're an Izzy hater, which I am not, if you're an Izzy hater, I don't know if it would change your mind. But if you are an Izzy fan, or even if you're indifferent, if you don't hate him, you don't love him, I think it'll make you appreciate him for who he is. One thing that they did do though that I thought was funny was in the lead up to the Yoel fight, like they had like the film crew like documenting it all, and then when they showed like the first round of the fight, and they just played crickets. So like they were acknowledging that like yeah, this was
Yeah.
a boring fight. And so he's acknowledging that kind of stuff which is humbling for somebody to do. But yeah, no, it was a great film. If you guys get the opportunity
Check it out right now on Prime. I'm not gonna rent
Yeah,
it, but if it's just sitting there,
yeah,
I'll
no,
check it out.
yeah,
we
I'll
have a
check.
I have a Prime account.
it's a worthwhile watch. Well, we're gonna have a week off, not from the pod, but from watching UFC. So we're gonna do a full breakdown of the upcoming Fight Night card in episode 8. It was fun wrapping up UFC 311. Awesome pay-per-view to kick off the year. Guys, any final thoughts before we send it off?
No,
UFC,
just
yeah,
thankful, man.
Yeah.
Thankful for our fans and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity and let's keep this thing rolling.
yeah, man. Just like you said, just keep it rolling. 311 was good. Uh, the card on March 8th is gonna be better, and it's gonna keep getting better and better and better. And we'll have a Connor fight sometime this year too. So
I hope
look
so.
forward to these episodes, man.
Yes, yes, they are.
What,
It's going to be such a fun time.
what would you prefer, Josh? Connor fight or Jones versus Aspinall fight?
That ain't even a question. John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I would rather if Dana White got on Instagram and was like, "Guys, we're announcing this right now. There will be no UFC fights for the rest of the year. All cards are canceled except for John Jones versus Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight championship of the world." I'm here for it. I would
Man.
sacrifice. I want
No
that fight
aura.
so goddamn bad that I would sacrifice every other fight for the rest of the year just to see
Lord.
it happen. That's how bad I want that fight. I
Fact.
need it. So
Let's pray
yes,
to the God. Let's pray to the gods, man.
MMA
To
yes,
the
gods.
MMA gods.
I would rather. So yes, to answer your question, I would rather see that fight over Connor fighting
Nice.
anyone, anyone. But yeah,
Nice, nice.
yeah. So now that I got that out of my system, hey, if you're watching this video right now and you made it this far into the podcast, I want to give a thank you from all three of us. I mean, if you made it this far, I mean that's incredible. Thank you. Seriously, that was I mean that is incredible. Hopefully we sold you on the pod. Hopefully you'll tune in to the next episode, and I very well may be talking to nobody. But hey, if I am, thank you
Yeah.
again. It means the world. It means so much if you're actually
And
watching this.
don't forget to like, comment,
And
subscribe.
subscribe. There you
Yes,
go.
please. We've been sitting at 8 subscribers for a few weeks now, three of which are us. Have to maybe
Guys,
assume Tanner's the. Oh yeah, he's got. You gotta go. You
No,
gotta.
no, no, no. I'm saying
Oh,
but I cannot use my
Thumbs
other
up.
hand.
Thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up.
Both.
oh, okay.
Jamal
But
Hill.
like, oh,
Oh,
Jamal Hill.
okay.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, guys. Thank you.
see you,
Yes.
man.
Thank you for
I gotta
watching.
go, but thank you, and see you guys next week.
Yep.
Yes,
See you
sir.
then.
See you guys.
Woo.
Good night.
Hell yeah.